In New York at the turn of the century, like two young Norwegians, so brave and so bold. Frank Samuelson only halfway through his 20s. George Harbo had just become 30 years old. Now Harbo lived all his life on the water, shipping out the square riggers when only a lad. His partner likewise was no stranger to working, whatever the task they gave, all that they had. That year a rich publisher offered a challenge, saying nary the vessel, no matter the size, could cross the Atlantic without steam or canvas. $10,000 he named as the prize. Now trudging for oysters by hand is no picnic. These two Norwegians were tough as a whip. Said Frank, we only rode 4 miles an hour. In 54 days we could finish the trip. We'll see you in France, we'll see you in heaven. Ride Harbo and Samuelson out on the bay. Too hard young oystermen after adventure. No one believed they could row all the way. Obtaining a sponsor, they started to training. They ordered a dory of cedar and oak. Just 18 feet long with a draft of 8 inches, Fox was the name of their cockle-shell boat. On the first day of June 1896, Harbo and Samuelson started to row. They had food and water, they'll last until August. Newspapers said they were foolish to go. We'll see you in France, we'll see you in heaven. Cried Harbo and Samuelson out on the bay. Too hard young oystermen out for adventure, and no one believed they could row all the way. From the slips of Manhattan, they rode through the narrows, out onto the Gulf Stream and over the deep. Each day they took turns. They rode 18 hours together. At night they took turns taking 3 hours speed. Their stove would not work, so they ate cold provisions. Their arms and their legs became swollen and cramped. The odd passing vessel that took them on board was the only relief from the cold and the damp. That out on the west bank, the weather attacked them. The wind blew the water in the mountainous waves. They lashed down their oars, and they tied on their lifelines and hoped that they weren't going straight to their graves. We'll see you in France, we'll see you in heaven. Cried Harbo and Samuelson out on the bay. Too hard young oystermen out for adventure, and no one believed they could row all the way. Out of the dark came a monstrous wave, capsizing the Fox and her terrified crew. For the lifelines held fast, but they lost half their water. Most of their food it was swept away too. They carefully rationed the little remaining, prayed for salvation as they rode through the brine. And on the horizon they saw a tall ship with the colors of Norway a-flailing behind. Well, the captain could not be convinced they weren't crazy, and they went on their way. By the chart lines on the charts, they were halfway to Europe, but now they must row 60 miles every day. We'll see you in France, or we'll see you in heaven. Cried Harbo and Samuelson out on the bay. Too hard young oystermen out for adventure, and no one believed they could row all the way. But the weather held fast, and these two kept rowing far into the day and far into the night. And early one morning before the sun rose, and on the horizon they spotted a light. On August 6th they made land at St. Mary's on the south coast of England. I thought just by Bishop's Rock. When amazement the townsfolk came down to the water, where Harbo and Samuelson barely could walk. Some would stop to a bask in the glory after having been sun-beaten, capsized, and starved. But these two were back in the boat the next morning, and in less than a week they arrived in La Havre. We'll see you in France, we'll see you in heaven. Cried Harbo and Samuelson out on the bay. Too hardy young oystermen out for adventure, and no one believed they could row all the way. You who are listening, who yearn for adventure, like Harbo Harbo and Samuelson so long ago. Like them, be prepared for the task you are facing. They were not only brave, but by God they could row. See you in France.
So we'll see you in